Good morning, Mr. Eichhorn.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing this morning?
I am super. I know that you're not scheduled until 9 o'clock, but I know Mr. Jadala asked that you come on early, and the court has absolutely no problem with that. We want to get you seen and get you on with your day. This is 22VB02567OD. This is Van Buren Township versus Alec Donald Eichhorn. May I have your appearances, please?
Respectfully, Your Honor, Sam Jadala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Eichhorn. Your Honor, I've gone over the pre-sentence report with my client. There are no errors, omissions, corrections, or deletions. We just ask that you please follow the recommendations, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, state your name for the record for me, please.
Alec Eichhorn.
Thank you. Were you able to hear Mr. Jadala just now?
Yes.
And you understand why we're here this morning?
Yes.
The court has had the opportunity to, there was an offense date in this case of December 18, 2022. Mr. Eichhorn and his attorney appeared before this court on January 19, 2023, and entered a plea of guilty to the reduced count of operating while visibly impaired. The court has had the opportunity to review the report drafted by Anthony Grant of this court's probation department, as well as review his recommendation. The probation information sheet, Mr. Eichhorn's driving record, and in as much as Mr. Jadala indicates that the report is factually accurate, the court will adopt the recommendation made by Mr. Grant and will impose the following sentence: 6 months of probation with the associated oversight fees of $40 per month, $300 fine, $100 in costs. There's $75 crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. There is $125 in restitution to Van Buren Township. Mr. Eichhorn will complete 24 hours of community service and provide documentation of the completion of community service to the probation department. Sir, if you do not already have a relationship with a nonprofit, please reach out to the court's probation department. They'll help get you connected to someplace you can do that community service. You will attend a level 2 alcohol education program or engage in some other substance abuse treatment beginning within 30 days of today's date. Follow all recommendations from that program and provide documentation of the completion of that program as directed to probation. Not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages or non-prescription controlled substances without this court's approval. You will submit to random ETG testing a minimum of once per month or as otherwise directed by the probation department. You will make regular monthly payments on the fines and costs assessed in this case. There will be paperwork that you will need to complete with the probation department. And Mr. Eichhorn, the court's position is that we want to be supportive in you being successful in probation. So if there's anything that you need over these next 6 months, please do not hesitate to reach out to Mr. Grant or to the court and let us know what it is that you need, okay?
Okay.
Anything else in this case, Mr. Jadala?
No, thank you very much, Judge.
Anything else, Mr. Eichhorn?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good day, good luck, and hope not to see you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Grant.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I came out and jumped right into it, and I usually at least say good morning to you and Miss Rapp and whoever else is on.
No, that's fine.
Shut it? Yes, you can shut. Oh, yay.
Good morning, Ms. Macris.
Good morning. I can't really see where I'm going. Where- I can't really see anything until it says
You
a
can't-
30 seconds will be not recorded.
You can't see anything right now?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit, so.
Okay. We're waiting for Mr. Nunley to arrive.
Waiting for Mr. Nunley or the judge?
Yes. No,
Okay.
I am the judge.
Oh, I can't see your face because it's.
I know, no, it's fine, I understand. I am
It's got it-
Judge Martin, we're just waiting for your
Okay, I can see
attorney.
you. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just us today?
No, there's two people from probation and another attorney on.
Okay.
You might not be able to see them, they don't have their cameras on.
Oh, yeah, but they probably won't show me too much here in prison anyway, so I'm sure there's
Oh, I'm
that.
sure. Good morning, Mr. Hadley.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm standing in for Mr. Nunley on an 8:45 sentencing hearing, as well as here for your violation of probation hearings. I believe I see Miss Angela. Is that you, Angela?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Do you need to speak to her, Mr. Nunley, Mr. Hadley?
No, I believe Mr. Nunley and the defendant have kind of discussed the sentencing issue. We're prepared to move forward at this time.
Thank you, sir. This is 220650 SM. This is State of Michigan versus Angela Marie Macris. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley standing in for MIDC counsel Royce Nunley, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Miss Angela Macris, who's appearing via Zoom video technology. Please state your name for the court.
Angela Macris.
My apologies for
Thank you.
mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Today's
It's
the day
either
and
that or
time
it's
set
Marcus.
for. Today's the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. There was an offense date of September 17, 2022, at which time Ms. Macris was charged with domestic violence. She appeared before this court and entered a plea on 11/23/2022. And the court has since tried to get her on for sentencing. Ms. Macris, there's nothing you did. We just couldn't get the paperwork right with Huron Valley, which caused a little bit of a delay in getting you here for sentencing in this case. There was an agreement reached by and between Ms. Shafufi on behalf of Wayne County Prosecutor's Office and Mr. Nunley that any sentence imposed in this matter would run concurrently with the sentence imposed by Judge Hathaway in the circuit court case. That being the case, and that being why we're here this morning, Mr. Hadley, anything to say on behalf of your client this morning?
After having a chance to speak with Mr. Nunley, I know the defendant and Mr. Nunley had more extensive discussions, but he filled me in and essentially seemed like it was a really tough period of time for Angela. A lot of different things were going on, as we can tell. There were some other cases that happened, and she looks forward to putting this behind her, kind of moving forward with her life. And we would just ask that the court adopt the recommendation of the time served sentence. At least as I say the recommendation, that was my understanding upon information and belief of Mr. Nunley that there was a discussion between prosecution, yourself. So I guess I wasn't there. I'm just kind of don't kill the messenger if I misstated that.
It was not a time served, Mr. Hadley. I understand where there might be a little bit of a confusion. It was to run concurrently. And inasmuch as Ms. Macris is already in custody of the Department of Corrections on another unrelated matter, this court, unless there was anything else you wanted to say on behalf of.
No, Your Honor, I think that was it.
Okay.
Ms. Macris, is there anything you need to say to the court? Don't feel that you have to, but this is your opportunity if you'd like to.
No, this is basically what I'm here for, is my violation of probation. So I hope this is enough.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, it wasn't, again, it wasn't a
Time served, could say.
credit for,
yep.
no, it's fine. It wasn't a credit for time served. It was to run concurrently. And what this court will do, respectfully, ma'am, is put you on 6 months of non-reporting probation. It will run concurrently with your sentence at the Department of Correction. The only requirement that the court will place on you is that you engage in the domestic violence program that is available at Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility, so long as it does not conflict with or duplicate any other programming you're currently subject to through your sentence with the Department of Correction. Again, it's a
Okay.
non-reporting probation. The court will waive other fines and costs in this matter. Successful completion of that, and I thought I had highlighted it on here. Successful completion of the domestic violence programming, domestic violence education, my apologies, I wanted to use the right word for it. Proof of that should be submitted to this court's probation department. Other than that, Mr. Hadley, anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
How am I
Anything
supposed
else,
to
ma'am?
get that? How am I supposed to get that to you when I don't know how long I'm gonna be? I think I'm supposed to be out till next year, and that's May of next year. So I'm not really sure how to really get that to you from in prison, so I know I'm
No,
Ypsilanti, it's
you-
not that far. I'm
You have
sorry,
access to to the mail, don't you?
yeah,
Okay.
yes,
You can just mail proof of completion of the programming to the court, to the probation department. Are you
okay.
suggesting that you're unable to do that and the probation department needs to reach out to the Department of Corrections?
No, I wasn't sure how you wanted me, I've never been to prison, this is all new stuff for me, so, I'm sure I can figure it out.
Ma'am, no, my apologies. I'm not trying to be flip. I just thought that once you completed that domestic violence education, you would be provided with either a certificate or some other documentation of completion. And a copy of that could be mailed to the court. If the court needs to do something, on its end, that's a conversation I'll have with our court's probation department. I just want that particular educational piece done to satisfy the allegations in the case that you had with me. And if you can't get it out to the court will reach out to corrections to get it so that we can close this file completely on our end, okay?
I'm doing what I can here, like this morning I went to ASAT, which is substance abuse. I can only get what the department can provide me with. So if it's open, I will definitely take it. My
I
classes are.
understand.
Okay, all right, thank you,
No,
Your
no,
Honor.
and that's why I'm saying, so long as what I'm asking you does not conflict with what you've already been tasked to do. And if the court tells me, if the probation department indicates to the court that this cannot happen for whatever the reason is, the court will not charge it to you. Will charge it as being repetitive of what you're already doing.
Okay, all right, thank you, Your
Okay.
Honor, I appreciate it.
Thank
All
you,
right.
ma'am. Have a good day. Good luck
Thank
to
you, have a
you.
good day.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Ms. Bowers, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Would you turn your video on for me, please, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Jadala, do you need to speak with her? Oh, where's Mr. Jadala?
I will call him, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am. And we have Huron coming on here shortly, it looks like.
And Your Honor, just noticed that I've got my name attached today to a restitution hearing for Serena Hill at 9:30. That
Yes.
was, do we know who, should we talk to Tony or Shannon on this one? It's not, I've never seen this or met this person before. It was not one of my appointed cases, so I wasn't sure.
Do you want me to send, do you have nothing? You want me to take a?
No, I haven't. If it's one of yours, yeah, Mr. Grant, if you have something you could fire my way before that one, that would be great.
Okay,
My apologies not catching that sooner. I just looked at that. I'm like, oh, it's not a show cause. Whoops. Okay.
right.
Well,
Yeah, I'll
Mr.
send you
Hadley, I
the-
saw it's Mr. Bowditch and Mr. Nunley previously.
Oh, who have been on that case?
Yes.
Okay.
So if Mr. Grant will send that information to you
That'd be
once
great.
she's here.
Thanks, guys.
Huron, I see you. I just don't have the file yet for Mr. Cooper. As soon as it gets upstairs, I'll get the case called.
All right, we'll stand by.
Thank you. Thanks, Jamie. Good morning. Mr. Cooper,
Yes, ma'am.
this is 230168 FY. This is State of Michigan versus Anthony Scott Cooper. Sir, state your full name for the record, please.
Anthony Scott Cooper, ma'am.
Sir, the court has received your file this morning for the arraignment on charges from March 25th, 2023. In the file is a form that indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that accurate, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And you wish to proceed with the arraignment on your own, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're ready to proceed at this time? Mr.
I'm sorry?
Cooper? I
Yes,
said you're
ma'am.
ready to proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Sir, it's alleged that on March 25th, 2023, in Huron Township, you committed count one, malicious destruction of personal property, $1,000 or more, but less than $20,000. That you did willfully and maliciously destroy or injure a 2010 Ford Escape, the personal property of Alicia Messer, and the amount of the destruction or injury was $1,000 or more, but less than $20,000, contrary to MCL 750.377A sub 1 sub B sub 1. This is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and or $10,000 or 3 times the amount of destruction or injury to the property, whichever is greater. Count two, assault with a dangerous weapon. That you did make an assault upon Alicia A. Messer with a dangerous weapon, to wit, a knife, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm less than the crime of murder. This is contrary to MCL 750.82. This is a felony punishable by up to 4 years in prison and or $2,000 fine plus court costs, DNA to be taken upon arrest. Count three, domestic violence, that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Alicia Messer, a resident or former resident of your household, and or an individual with whom you had a dating relationship, contrary to MCL 750.81 sub 2. This is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fine plus court costs. There is a habitual offender fourth offense notice in the file. Take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of 3 or more felonies or attempts to commit felonies, and that on or about May the 26th, 2016, he was convicted of the offense of financial transaction device, stealing, retaining without consent, in violation of MCL 750.157 N1 in the 38th Circuit Court for Monroe County in the state of Michigan. And on or about May 28th, 2020, he was convicted of the offense of controlled substance possession of analogs in violation of MCL 333.74032BA in the Third Circuit Court for Wayne County in the state of Michigan. And on or about October 21st, 2022, he was convicted of the offense of controlled substance possession, cocaine, heroin, narcotic, less than 25 grams, in violation of MCL 333.74032A5 in the Third Circuit Court in Wayne County in the state of Michigan. Therefore, defendant is subject to the penalties provided by MCL 769.12, that penalty being life if the primary offense has penalty of 5 years or more, 15 years or less if primary offense was penalty under 5 years. Maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for the first conviction. Sir, inasmuch as this is a felony matter, you have a right to be represented by an attorney going forward. If you do not have the financial means to secure an attorney on your own or through that support through friends and family, the court is able to appoint an attorney to you. Attached to the front of your file was a petition for a court-appointed attorney. The court has signed that, and you will be assigned an attorney going forward. That person will rely on the information contained on your petition to be in communication with you. Sir, you also have a right to be considered for pretrial release. There is a recommendation from Huron Township Police Department that your bond in this matter be set at 10% based on your history of non-appearance on other matters, outstanding warrants, the seriousness of the offense and probability of conviction, the fact that you used a knife. Do you have any comments regarding the bond recommendation from the police department?
I just wanted to say that I have a surgery scheduled for tomorrow. I have a pin that's sticking out of my hand. I work full time. And I would just like you to follow along with their bond recommendation. I will appear at all court dates. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cooper, did I understand you to say that you want me to follow that bond recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, the court then will follow the bond recommendation of Huron Township, set your bond at 10%. Condition of your bond is that you have no contact with the complainant in this case. That being Alicia Messer. And sir, just so we're on the same page, no contact means no contact. No direct contact, no contact through third parties, no contact through social media. If this court receives allegations that you have made attempts to be in contact with Ms. Messer before this matter is resolved, it could be viewed as a violation of your bond and you could spend the rest of these proceedings in custody. Do you understand?
Absolutely, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Your next appearance date will be April the 5th, 2023
Thank
at
you, Your Honor.
8:30 a.m. At 8:30 a.m. with Judge Oakley in courtroom 2. If you are still in custody, a hearing will be by Zoom. If you have posted and you are out, that hearing will be in person. Again, this case number is 230168FY. Next appearance date, April the 5th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Anything else in this matter, Huron?
No, your ma'am.
Anything else, Mr. Cooper?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much for following the recommendation. I appreciate it.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. These are 22BL00649 A and B. These are City of Belleville versus Bowers. May I have your appearances, please?
Respectfully, Your Honor, Sam Richard Dollar, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Bowers, standing in for the attorney of record, Mr. Daniel Batar.
Ms. Bowers, state your name for me, please, ma'am.
Jayana Bowers.
Thank you so much. Today is the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. There were offense dates of September 11, 2022 in the City of Belleville. Ms. Bowers was charged with driving while license suspended, revoked, or denied, and operating while intoxicated. She appeared before this court on December 15, 2022, and entered pleas of guilty to the reduced counts of operating while visibly impaired and allowing a person to drive in violation of vehicle code. The court is in receipt of the recommendation from Anthony Grant of the court's probation department. The court has had the opportunity to review the police report in its entirety, as well as the letter submitted by Ms. Bowers, her criminal history, and her driving record. Mr. Jadala, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of Ms. Bowers at this time?
Your Honor, at this time, there are no errors, omissions, corrections, or deletions. We just respectfully request that you adopt the recommendations made by probation, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Bowers, anything you'd like to say on your own behalf, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. This court will adopt the recommendation made by the probation department in this case. Mr. Grant's report is clear that due to Ms. Bowers' history with alcohol and her BAC of 0.16 on the day of the offense, the court believes that 6 months of probation is a reasonable sentence and will impose that. Court will the 6 months of probation with all of the requisite oversight fees. There's a $300 fine, $100 in costs. There's $75 crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, $20 fund fee, and $150 restitution to the city of Belleville. For the allowing an unlicensed driver to drive, there will be a $100 fine, $100 in costs, $75 crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, $20 fund fee. Ms. Bowers will serve 24 hours of community service at a nonprofit organization and provide documentation to the probation department as directed. Ma'am, if you do not already have a relationship with a nonprofit where you can do your community service hours, please reach out to the probation department. They will help get you connected to some agency. You will attend a level 2 alcohol education program or engage in substance abuse treatment beginning within 30 days of today's date. Follow all recommendations from the education program or treatment program and provide documentation to the probation department as directed. You will not purchase, possess, consume alcoholic beverages or non-prescription controlled substances without the court's approval and will submit to random testing with ETG a minimum of once per month or as otherwise directed by the probation department. You will make regular monthly payments on the fines and costs assessed in this matter. And I will note on the record that the court takes issue with the fact that when you were arraigned back on November 17, 2022, you were told not to purchase, possess, consume alcoholic beverages, and you thereafter disclosed use of alcohol to the probation department. The court will remind you that no alcohol means no alcohol without the court's permission. That being the case, anything else in this case, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Bowers?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Bowers, the probation department will be in contact with you. There'll be paperwork for you to complete. If you need anything, the court's goal is for you to be successful on probation. If you need any assistance or support during these next 6 months, please do not hesitate to be in contact and communication with the probation department. That concludes this matter, ma'am. Good day, good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Andy, it's okay if you email it.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am.
On your transmission. After that, initiate regen.
Sir, with the, was it blue or black hoodie on your name, please?
Joseph Parmalee.
Mr. Parmalee, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Mr. Parmalee, the last time we were here, you proceeded on your own as, oh, hold on, sorry. Nope. The last time that we were here, you proceeded on your own. Is it your intention to proceed on your own again today, or are you looking for the assistance of the court-appointed attorney?
I can go on my own, Your Honor.
This is 22 BL 00637 AOD. This is City of Belleville versus Joseph Parmalee. Would you state your name again for me, sir?
Joseph Parmalee.
Thank you. Mr. Parmalee, you were last here on February 13th, 2023, and entered a plea of guilty to the probation violation. Mr. Grant from the court's probation department was on as well and extended your monitoring 30 days, and you were given 30 days to go fingerprint. The court has received violation information dated today, which indicates that you have failed to test. And since the case was last adjourned, you have had 47 positive tests for alcohol. You skipped 11 tests, and you have not tested since March the 5th, 2022. Additionally, you have failed to be fingerprinted at the police department as ordered previously and ordered again on February 13th, 2023. What's going on, Mr. Parmalee?
I did the fingerprints on Saturday, Your Honor. The machine that I had was not working properly at all. And then it totally went blank on me. It was going on and off. The screen didn't work. It would say I violated, and then it would say pass numerous times. It was not accurate at all. And I went back up to Michigan to get a new one, and they told me that I had broken it, or it was in my possession and it's broken. And I did not have the money to get a new one. And I apologize, Your Honor.
Mr. Grant?
Yes, Your Honor. I was trying to verify whether he did get fingerprinted on Saturday or not. When I checked on Friday, he was not. As far as the testing goes, Mr. Parmalee has showed that he's got no interest in testing. With the positive tests, he tested positive the day of his last probation violation date on 2/13. Later that day, he tested positive. I've spoke to the Nationwide consultant to confirm, and she's told me it actually was Smart Start, I apologize, more than once that his results are consistent with alcohol. So I'm not sure the problems that he's having, but the department that handles it, Smart Start, believes that the problem is that he's actually using alcohol.
Your recommendation at this time, Mr. Grant?
At this point, I don't think Mr. Parmalee is interested at all in successfully completing probation, so I would suggest jail time.
Mr. Parmalee,
Yes, ma'am.
anything you'd like to say, sir?
No, Your Honor. I apologize. I need to get back on track with everything. This is the hardest year I've ever had in my life.
Mr. Parmalee, the court will adopt the recommendation of Mr. Grant and sentence you to a period of jail time. The court, when sentencing you back on December 29, 2022, you were represented by Mr. Leonard at the time. You were already overdue on submitting documentation to the court. And the court advised you that the goal is for you to be successful in probation and offered to and asked that you contact the probation department if you were having any issues, any struggles, or you needed support from that department. If there was some issue with your SMART system, you should have been in communication with Mr. Grant. And we were here back on February 13th, the court advised you that additional positives could result in jail time. And that's where we are this morning. Mr. Grant, the recommended period of incarceration.
Your Honor, the department or the probation department would recommend minimum 30 days.
Anything else, Mr. Parmalee?
No, Your Honor.
Where are you currently, sir?
Just outside of St. Louis, Missouri.
Sir, based on your failure to comply repeatedly with the directives regarding your sentencing in this matter, the court will impose 30 days of incarceration in this matter. You have 48 hours to surrender to jail for processing. Anything else, Mr. Grant?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Parmalee?
I don't, you said I have 48 hours?
Yes, sir. I know that you do moving and that you tend to be on the road. You have an out-of-state address and this court has made allowances for you to continue to work and know that you are traveling out of state. So you need to return yourself to the jurisdiction so that you may begin your 30 days.
Okay, I'm not scheduled to be back till Wednesday night or Thursday.
Mr. Parmalee, you knew when you logged on this morning that you had failed to do what you were ordered to do a month ago.
Yes, ma'am.
That concludes this matter, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Rapp.
Morning, Your Honor.
Sir, who just signed on, identified as, what is your name, please?
Sean Solak,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Mr. Solak, the last time you were here with us, you waived the right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney with you. Do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
wish to use the services of the court-appointed attorney this morning, or do you wish to proceed on your own?
If it's the same person, I don't want it.
I don't know who was here last time, sir.
It was some guy, ma'am. I could just go by myself. It's fine.
Well, it's Mr. Hadley, Josh Hadley, who's here this morning. If you can't see him on the screen, if you want to go into a breakout room with him to discuss
ma'am.
this matter, and okay, we'll get you into a breakout room with him right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Grant and Miss Rapp, do you guys know on Mr. Solak, who's handling this one?
Yeah, you want me to send
If you don't
the
mind,
notice
yeah,
of-
I didn't think I had him yet today. Mr. Select, I'm gonna move you into a breakout room. Give me 1 second and I'll be right in there, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. There should be a message that's popped up on your screen that's asking you to join a breakout room.
Miss McMillan, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Yep. What
Great.
case, what case are you here
She's
for?
our restitution case with Heal.
Okay. Ma'am, who's identified as a Zoom user? Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, ma'am. There's somebody else on the screen.
Oh, sorry.
With the long braids and the glasses, can you hear me? What is your name, please?
Christine Ross.
Thank you.
Ms. Ross, you're here this morning for a probation violation. Ma'am, were you looking to proceed on your own this morning, or are you looking for the assistance of the court-appointed attorney?
A court-appointed attorney.
He is in a breakout room with someone else right now, but we will put you in with him as soon as he's available, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me refresh my internet. I don't think I see anything on Solak still.
He's out.
Here.
Were you looking for some
No, I
paperwork,
think-
Mr. Hadley?
I think we can proceed.
Okay.
Good morning, Your
This
Honor. Attorney Josh
is-
Hadley appearing on behalf of the probationer, Mr. Sean Solak.
Thank you. Mr. Solak, state your name again for me, sir.
Sean Christopher Solak.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for hearing on a probation violation. The report from the probation department, Mr. Grant of the probation department indicates that you have missed testing at JAMS on March 1st, March 11th, and March 14th. You have failed to make payment on your fines and costs. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding in this matter?
Your Honor, after having a time to advise my client of his rights on this matter, discuss what's going on, we would go ahead and plead responsible to the probation violation, and ask for an opportunity to provide some context and explanation before you deem what would be the appropriate response.
Court will accept your plea of responsible on the probation violations and the explanation or the information, Mr. Hadley.
Absolutely, Your Honor. Mr. Solak admits that he's been having some difficulties in getting testing done, getting some of these issues taken care of. At this point in time, he does have a considerable distance from where he's at to getting to these facilities, has no car. It is financially in a pretty dire situation. He's seeking to be compliant per our discussion, but I think, again, what we would be asking is for you guys to continue Mr. Solak on probation, and I would advise him to reach out to Mr. Grant to try to come up with some other solutions to maybe kind of find different means of testing, something along those lines so he can stay in compliance. Mr. Solak, is there anything that you would like to say to the judge? And don't feel that you have to, but if you'd like to, this is your chance to say anything to the judge.
Yes. Right, say it right now.
Yeah, I mean, Your Honor, would you
yeah.
like to hear from the defendant at this time?
If there's something Mr. Solak wants to add to these proceedings, of course.
Yes, ma'am. I've been sober this whole time and I've been really trying. It's really difficult with there's no ride. I got my car taken. I got no family to help me. I got one person from Droveworks that takes me to meetings once a week, and then I do substance abuse class. But I'm willing to any recommendation, and if I have to go to jail, I'll go to jail. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes, even a halfway house, rehab, whatever. I just want to complete and not get in trouble.
And Your Honor, he shared that with me as well. He mentioned that he'd be willing to go to an inpatient or just anything again to work this out. But I think that we're looking at a probationer who's trying and just is just not able to quite get there right now.
I'm literally stuck.
Mr. Grant, was there something you wanted to add?
No, I agree with Mr. Solak. Even the alcohol monitor, there was no violations during the time that he did have it on, which was a month and a half. So I think he was a couple weeks short of the 60 days before they took the alcohol monitor, and that was basically because of a lack of payment. Although I did try to reach out to Mr. Solak to question him, reference the jams, and there was no answer. I tried a couple of different times to contact him to find out why he was not testing.
I'm sorry.
So I think that might be, my biggest request is that he make himself available when I do reach out to him to try to figure out what's going on, because I know it was money with Mr. Solak.
So your recommendation regarding the plea of responsible to the probation violation, Mr. Grant?
We could just put him back on probation and figure out moving forward how we're going to get him to jams. I realized transportation was also an issue. But that's something we could discuss on the phone.
Thank you. Mr. Solak, I do remember you logging on before, and you indicated to the court at that time that you were having financial issues, and the court's position and comments during sentencing is always that we don't want this to be punitive. We don't want to make your life more difficult. We want to be supportive of you. That being the case, and you have pleaded responsible to the probation violation, the court will note that in the file, but will not take any additional action against you. You are 4 months into a 18-month long probation. What the court will ask you to do is that when Mr. Grant reaches out to you, whether it's by phone or by email, that you respond promptly. If you've had some change in address or phone number or email, if you would relay that information to the probation department. Mr. Grant's report is clear that you have been regular with your being enrolled with GrowthWorks substance abuse and attending AA. So that's a huge step. And it's clear that this is a financial issue with the alcohol monitoring, and it's not a willful effort to avoid your responsibilities under probation. That being the case, the court will conclude this matter and again encourage you to be in communication with Mr. Grant regularly when you need support, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, Mr. Nunley. I'm sorry, Mr. Hadley.
No, Your Honor, thank you very much for your consideration. Thank you, Mr. Grant, as well, for being able to kind of work with Mr. Solak. We thank everybody involved.
Thank you, Mr. Solak. You're free to go, sir. Good luck to you. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am. You as well.
Thank you. If only there was some place where testing could be done regularly locally. Mr. Hadley, Ms. Ross wants to have some of your time.
Absolutely. I am
move to a
Ms.
breakout?
Ross. I'm going to
Thank
be
you.
moving you into my breakout room right now. Please accept an invitation if it pops up on your screen.
Okay.
The person who's identified as iPhone, can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Unmute yourself and state your name, please.
Blake Metzger.
Thank you, Mr. Metzger. Mr. Metzger, you were previously represented by Attorney Nelson during during your plea in this matter. You're here this morning for a violation of probation. Were you looking for the assistance of the court-appointed attorney, or were you looking to proceed on your own?
Proceed on my own.
This is 220381FY. This is State of Michigan versus Blake Alexander Metzger. State your name for me, please, sir.
Blake Alexander Metzger.
Thank you. Mr. Metzger, as indicated, you are here this morning for hearing on a violation of probation. The report received from the probation department indicates that you have provided no documentation to show that you have completed batterers counseling or the mental health evaluation, that you have failed to maintain your payment plan with the court. You have not made a payment since December 2nd, 2022. Additionally, you have obtained a new felony offense as of March 1st, 2023 for assault with a dangerous weapon. Sir, what do you say in response to these allegations?
I sent in some documentation for my probation for the battering counseling. I sent documentation in for that. For my payments, I had to get a new car before I got on right after I got on probation because my engine blew, and that cost me $1,400 a month just for my car note and insurance. So I haven't been really able to make my payments on that because all my money basically goes to my car. And my probation officer, the reason why I haven't been contacted them from my last appointment is because I didn't hear from him for a month and a half. So I didn't even know that, I was supposed to meet, they hit me up because I didn't hear from him for a month and a half. So I thought everything was all good.
I'm sorry, Mr. Metzger, the court's looking in the file. There is a notice that went to you on February 7, 2023 that indicated that you failed to provide documentation of the batterers counseling and the mental health evaluation. Did you receive that information?
Not to my knowledge, no.
You didn't receive something with the notice to appear this morning?
I got something in the mail. That's how I know I had this court appointment.
That's what I'm referring to. On that documentation, on that notice to appear would have been the basis for today's hearing. So you're saying that after you received that, you provided documentation to Ms. Rapp?
No, I didn't. This was before this. And I do have proof that I sent documentation in. Whether it be the right thing or not, I don't know, but I do have documentation. And I have sent.
I'm sorry, Mr. Metzger, I cut you off. You were saying you have sent something to Ms. Rapp?
Yes. Whether it being the right thing or not, I couldn't find battery and counseling classes anywhere. So I just kind of went with, what I could find, which was domestic violence classes, which I thought was the same thing.
Ms. Rapp?
Your Honor, the defendant did provide 4 hours of domestic violence class. However, he was ordered to do 26 hours. There's been no documentation of mental health evaluation. And I did email the defendant on January 12th indicating that he failed to appear for his original scheduled appointment and that we were adjourning it to meet with me on the 25th. However, he failed to appear on that as well.
Mr. Metzger, what do you say in response to those statements?
The mental health evaluation, I couldn't, no psychiatrist is available. And anytime that I brought up it's for probation, they said they will come back to me and call me back, but they never did. And I have multiple people that try to help me get in contact with somebody.
Mr. Metzger, in response to the specific allegations put forth by the probation department, it sounds like you have an explanation. So are you denying responsibility for these violations?
Can you please say that again? It kind of cut out.
The probation department is alleging that you have failed to provide documentation that you've completed the batter's counseling that was ordered as a part of your sentence, failed to provide the mental health evaluation that was a part of your sentence, failed to make regular payments as directed, and you have incurred a new felony case. All of these things are contrary to your terms of probation. In response to the allegations that you have violated probation by failing to provide this documentation, failing to pay, and incurring a new criminal case, what do you say in response to those things, sir? Responsible or not responsible? Or do you request a hearing in this matter?
I guess I'm responsible.
And Mr. Metzger, the court has heard you indicate that there was a an unexpected financial expense of the vehicle. And that
Yes.
you've had some difficulty finding the appropriate batter's counseling and health evaluation, mental health evaluation. But the court, in imposing sentence in this case, would have indicated to you that if you have any trouble doing any of the things that you've been ordered to do as part of your probation, that you reach out to the probation department. Ms. Rapp has now put on the record the times that she has reached out to you without response. The court building is at 11129 Wayne Road. If you are having trouble being in contact or receiving response from Ms. Rapp, you could have come to the court, you could have called the court, you could have submitted an email from the court's website. Ms. Rapp, given the fact that Mr. Metzger has pled responsible to these probation violations, what is your recommendation, ma'am?
Your Honor, my recommendation would be to adjourn this 30 days for the defendant to be in compliance. And at that time, if the defendant is not in compliance, will result in jail time.
Any comment, any response to the recommendation by Ms. Rapp, Mr. Metzger?
No, ma'am.
The court will adopt the recommendation made by Shannon Rapp from the probation department, will adjourn this matter for 30 days for Mr. Metzger to be in compliance with both the batter's counseling and documentation of same, the mental health evaluation documentation of same, to resume the payment plan. Mr. Metzger, if you need support in finding a program or getting the evaluation that we just placed on the record, please be in contact with Ms. Rapp either by email, by phone, or you're always welcome to come to the court. On the court's website, there is a contact us button. If you're unable to receive a response from her, or she fails to respond to you, there are other people in this building who can provide you information to get you where you need to be. Anything else this morning, Mr. Metzger?
No, ma'am. That'll be it.
Thank you, sir. Good luck to you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, are we ready with Ms. Ross?
Indeed, we are, Your Honor.
This is 21 HR 11256 AOD. This is Huron Township versus Christine Ross. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, probationer Miss Christina Ross is appearing via Zoom. Miss Ross, please state your name for the court.
Christine Ross.
Thank you, Ms. Ross. Today is the day and time set for hearing on the probation violation. There is a report from the probation department that indicates that there is currently a warrant for you out of the 14B District Court for OWI, operating while intoxicated third, and assaulting, resisting, or obstructing a police officer. There's a further allegation that you failed to maintain your payment plan and that you owe $495.20 in this case, with your last payment being made on January 5th, 2023. There is confirmation that you completed your substance abuse treatment and completed your time on tether. Mr. Hadley, what do you say in response to these allegations, sir?
Your Honor, after speaking with my client, advising her rights, it's her decision at this point to go ahead and plead responsible to the technical violation as to the payment. And we do concede that there is this other pending case. And if we could give a brief allocution whenever the court's ready for us.
The court accepts the plea of responsible to the probation violations. Mr. Hadley, the allocution, please.
Your Honor, again, Ms. Ross really, again, had a rough run of time between this offense and this district court, and some of the other issues. It's our understanding, however, that she's been clean and sober since the offense out of Washtenaw County. She has retained counsel on that matter, and again, is presumed innocent on that one, is working on that case. But really, I believe the money financial issues with 34th District Court was the more important part as it related to the why and the when. So as she's been picking up with the other case, money kind of got reallocated to deal with the new case. She's aware, again, that she has to make this payment. Her in probation date was actually supposed to be the very end of January. So she's desperately trying to do what she can in the immediate to get these funds put together to pay the rest of the monies owed to 34th District Court. And we would, again, ask that Your Honor continue probation to allow her to make this remaining amount of payments. Again, I think her continued sobriety has been a big factor that should weigh in her favor. And with that, Ms. Ross, do you have anything you want to say to the court? You don't need to, but this is your chance if you'd like to.
Not much really, just it all is a work in progress and something that I am currently trying to get handled out. I was speaking with Mr. Hadley. I should be able to resume making payments to the 34th District starting in April. So this week, and then I should be able to finish paying that off by May.
And the only other thing I would add, Your Honor, is the offense date out of the Washtenaw County was very early on in her term of probation with the district court. Again, we're not trying to minimize that, but just sort of point out that her behavior since has drastically improved and she's addressing the substance abuse issues head on.
Thank you. Ms. Rapp.
Your Honor, moving forward with this case, probation respectfully recommends that this case be discharged without improvement and turned over to collections. She's already been on probation for a year. And if from the 14B, more than likely she will be put on probation as that one as well, if it is pled guilty.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, the court has accepted Ms. Ross's plea of responsibility to these probation violations. Probation in this matter was to end on January 31st, 2023. The court does not extend probation purely for purposes of payment. That being the case, the court will adopt the recommendation from Shannon Rapp at the court's probation department and discharge Ms. Ross from probation without improvement. The matter will be turned over to the collections department. Ms. Ross, you may resume your payments in this case directly to the collections department. If you need to reestablish a payment plan, you can call the court's collection department You can come in person and to reset the payment plan, or you can go onto the court's website. There's a contact us drop down that says submit a request for payment plan, and you can proceed that way. Otherwise, this court again has discharged you from probation without improvement. Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor, thank you very much. And Ms. Ross, good luck to you. Thank you, Mr. Rapp, as well.
Good luck to you, Ms. Ross, in the 14A.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you. Ms. Hill. Mr. Haley, did you receive that document, the documentation regarding the restitution?
I believe it should be a pretty brief meeting. I'm going to jump in and speak with Ms. Hill right now. Ms. Hill, if you see an invitation to join breakout room, please click on that. I'm going to pull you into my room.
Thank you. Mary Ann, I'm gonna let you identify these people. I'll step off briefly.
Right. Ma'am, who just, or sir, who signed on as Moto G Play, can you hear me?
Talking to me?
Well, sure, I'll take you. Yep, what's your name, please?
Corey LaFramboise.
Thank you.
It's very confusing.
Morning, sir, who just signed on with the blue t-shirt and the glasses. What is your name, please? Sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. He said.
Go ahead.
It was very confusing. He signed me in. I mean, I had my boyfriend sign me in. He just handed the phone to me because on my phone, I couldn't hear you guys.
Okay, I've got you identified. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Clayton.
Good morning.
Do you need to speak with your client, or are you set?
We're ready to go. I spoke with him.
Okay, thank you. Sir, who is signed on as Motorola One, can you hear me? Sir, who just signed on as Motorola One, you have glasses on. What is your name, please? Sir, can you hear me?
Who, me?
Yes, you, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes. Alan Thompson?
Thank you. Attorney Clayton, are you ready to proceed with Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, we're ready to go.
This is 220840 OD. This is Van Buren Township versus Brian Kenneth Gutierrez. May I have your appearance, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Spencer Clayton appearing on behalf of Mr. Gutierrez, P number 77302. I am standing in for the attorney of record in this case, Mr. Maurice Davis. We are in the same office. Sir, is that with your permission? Did I stand in for Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Thank you. And can you state your name for the record, please?
Brian Kenneth Gutierrez.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. There was an offense date of December 7th, 2022, at which time Mr. Gutierrez was charged with operating while intoxicated. He appeared before this court and entered a plea of guilty to the reduced count of operating while visibly impaired on February 16, 2023. As is this court's practice with drinking and driving offenses, Mr. Gutierrez was referred to the court's probation department for an interview and the development of a sentence recommendation. The court has received that report from Stephen Hicks of the court's probation department, has reviewed the summary of the interview, as well as the recommendation from Mr. Hicks, the police report in this matter, Mr. Gutierrez's criminal history, his driving record, as well as his needs assessment. Mr. Clayton, what would you like to say on behalf of your client at this time?
Your Honor, we did have the opportunity to review that report as well. We find it to be factually accurate, no additions, deletions, or corrections. Given the circumstances, his criminal background, he does have one prior conviction from approximately 9 years ago. I think the recommendation is appropriate in this case. They're asking for supervision along with some treatment as well as monitoring for alcohol. I think all those things are appropriate. He does have a good job. I think he'll be successful on probation. So we're asking the court to adopt the recommendation at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Gutierrez, anything you'd like to say, sir?
No.
Again, the court has had the opportunity to review the documents previously listed and has some concerns that Mr. Gutierrez operating with a BAC of 0.27, having prior drinking and driving offenses. Reading of the police report is great cause for concern, given where Mr. Gutierrez encountered the Van Buren Township Department of Public Safety. That being the case, the court will adopt the recommendation made by Mr. Hicks and place Mr. Gutierrez on 12 months of probation with the associated oversight fees in this matter. The court will impose a fine of $300, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's a $125 in restitution due to Van Buren Township, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. Mr. Gutierrez will serve 60 days on alcohol monitoring, will engage in outpatient treatment beginning within 30 days of today's date, and follow all recommendations from that treatment program and provide documentation to the probation department as directed. Sir, you will not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages or controlled substances without the court's approval, and you will submit to random testing a minimum of twice per month with ETG or as directed by the probation department. That ETG testing will be suspended during that 60 days on alcohol monitoring. You will make regular monthly payments on all of the fines and costs assessed in this matter. Mr. Clayton, this court's desires for Mr. Gutierrez to be successful on probation. So if there's any way that the probation department may support him in achieving these goals, he needs only reach out to that department. Anything else in this matter, Mr. Clayton?
Your Honor, I believe there was a recommendation to pay his costs over the course of probation. Is the court adopting that as well?
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck to you, Mr. Gutierrez. And again, if you need any support in this matter, please do not hesitate to reach out to the probation department. They will be in contact with you to get paperwork done to put your probation in place, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day, sir.
You too.
Thank you. Mary Ann, we're waiting for 3 files to come up from Van Buren. So as soon as we see them log on, Mr. Bowditch, we'll be talking to them and we will suspend the probation docket once those arraignment files are here and ready. Give me 1 second, Mr. Hadley, before we get to Ms. Hill.
Absolutely, Your Honor. At your
Thank you.
leisure.
No, not leisure. I just forgot to do something. And before I send the file downstairs, I want to get it right.
I understand that feeling.
I don't want Ms. Wrap up here.
And Mr. Grant, thank you for getting everything over to me. I appreciate that. We got a chance to go over it all. Thank you.
All right, not a problem.
This is 2205260M. This is Sumter Township versus Hill. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, Ms. Serena Hill, for the purpose of this restitution hearing today. Ms. Hill, please state your name for the record.
Serena Hill.
Thank you. And also present is Ms. Karen McMillan. Ms. McMillan, the court did receive the documentation wherein you requested restitution in this matter of $205 for ambulance, ophthalmology copay, and eye drops from Walmart. That information was provided to Mr. Hadley for a review with Ms. Hill. Mr. Hadley, now you've had the opportunity to review this with Ms. Hill. Do you have any response?
Your Honor, we would stipulate to the dollar amount as set at $205 after reviewing the receipts with Ms. Hill. We have no objections and would ask the court to adopt that restitution amount.
Thank you. This court, having had the opportunity to review both the memo from the probation department as well as the documentation provided by Ms. Karen McMillan, the court will order restitution to Ms. McMillan in the amount of $205. And just so we're clear, there was one small additional matter in that Ms. Hill had not been fingerprinted. As is required, there was an order for fingerprints attached to the front of the court's file. Court is signing that. Ms. Hill, please present yourself to the Huron Township Police Department by April 27, 2023 to be fingerprinted in regards to this matter. Ma'am, do you need more than 30 days to make that payment of restitution?
She said.
Ms. Hill, do you need
Ms.
more than
Hill?
30 days to pay the $205 in restitution?
Yes.
How do you proceed? How do you propose to pay that restitution amount, Ms. Hill?
That is a big red flag that I think we all should pay attention to.
What was that? Can you repeat
I'm
that?
sorry. There was someone else speaking and I only heard part of it.
Can you repeat that?
I said, how do you propose to pay the restitution, ma'am?
Can you give me like 100 days?
Ms. Hill, what I'll have you do is contact the court's collection department. You can call them, you can email them, you can go online to the court's website. There's a contact us where you can drop down and make a request for a payment plan, okay?
Okay.
Anything else in this matter, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor, we're all set. Thank you for the court's time.
Thank you. Ms. McMillan, thank you for providing that documentation and logging on.
Thank you.
Ms. Hill, good luck to you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Okay, bye.
And Your Honor, my apologies if I missed somebody while I was in the breakout room. Did we ever have a Kyle Lowry? I did see that he was on my list today up here.
I have not seen Mr. Lowry
Very good.
scheduled at 9:30. It's now 10 o'clock. Let me. This is 22BL002994B, City of Belleville versus Kyle Lowry. The matter was scheduled for 9:30. It is now 10:04 by the court's clock. Matter was scheduled for show cause. The defendant, the allegation from the probation department is that the defendant failed to provide documentation of his one-day anger management program, failed to maintain his payment plan. The hearing was previously adjourned for the documentation to be provided. There were no new offenses on the criminal history or on Mr. Lowry's driving record. Ms. Rapp, was there something you want to say in this matter at this time?
Your Honor, the defendant has not contacted me. So I've not heard from him since our last hearing.
What is your recommendation in this matter, ma'am?
Your Honor, probation respectfully recommends that the case be sent to warrants.
Defendant having failed to appear, bench warrant shall issue in this matter 2,010%. Anything else in this case, Ms. Rapp?
Your Honor, please give me 1 second to look to see if I'm requesting a conviction being entered.
Thank you.
No, Your Honor, I don't see anything that it was an under advisement or deferred.
I'm looking back on that sentence recommendation as well there on the notes from the sentence as well, and I don't see anything. That concludes this matter. Put the file to the side, maybe Mr. Lowry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is it Lafram Boyce? Ma'am, with the black hoodie on. Unmute yourself, state your name for me, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Would you state your name for me, please?
I'm sorry, what?
State your name for me, please.
Corey LaFramboise.
Ms. LaFramboise, today is the day and time set for your sentencing in this matter. Were you looking for the assistance of the court-appointed attorney, or are you looking to proceed on your own?
I'd like an attorney.
Mr. Hadley is here. You will see an invitation to go into the breakout room with him. Please go there, review the recommendation from the probation department, and when you're ready and come back out, the court will get the case called.
Okay. You.
Thank you. Ms. Rapp, did I miss something?
I'm going to send you court. Can you hear me, ma'am? I'm going to send you an invitation to join a breakout room. When you see that pop up, go ahead and click on that. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry to jump in there, Your Honor.
No, you're fine. My screen froze too. That's not a good sign.
And then Shannon, I think I saw a head nod. You're firing that my way. Or maybe you already did.
Yep, just sent it to you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Oh,
Bless you.
thank you. What 1 PM?
It was a hearing. It
Oh,
was-
I see it now. How did that happen? Interesting. I never even saw the file. I guess that's a good sign. Good morning, sir. How are you? I'm good, thank you. Thank you. So Mary Ann, Andy comes back and then she just gets super busy.
Miss
Wow.
Miss Rapp, did you
We
shoot
just
that
got-
over my way?
Yes, I did. Do you want me to resend it to you?
I still don't have it yet. I'm not sure if there's something going on my end or not. Yeah, maybe try again, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can't imagine it went into the junk. Let me go check though.
Okay, just tried it again.
Okay, that one came through. We're good. Okay, thank you, Shannon.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Fish.
Good morning. How are you this morning, Judge?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I didn't know if we had one up today or not. My schedule says so, but we met last week, so I didn't know if that was the one or not.
What do you think we have?
I think we have 88052 for GFL Environmental, or it might be under Rizzo.
If you're here, I have no misdemeanor matters this morning. Mine are all probation violations and sentencing. If you have a matter, maybe it's with Al Hemman.
Okay. Mine says a safety act.
If it's scheduled for today, I'm just saying it's not here with me.
Okay, all right. Let me track it down then.
If you go onto the court's website, you can type in the case number and it'll
Okay.
pop up.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it. Have a nice
You're
day and a
welcome.
nice week.
You too.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Judge, just to give an arraignment update, we may have a little bit of a delay as I know that Attorney Bowditch is scheduled to be on Magistrate Hinman's docket this morning. So he did let me know that he is on the schedule for arraignments and is available, and I did go ahead and send him the information. So we're just waiting on him to get on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So did you have a curtain?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I can follow you everywhere. Thank you. Just needs to sign. You just need to sign it.
Welcome to courtroom number 1.
Thank you.
Here's the problem. How do you dismiss?
We just throw it in the
Okay.
file.
No,
Right.
Oh,
it
you don't-
has to be a step dismiss. It can't be dismissed by, it can't be dismissed. He's not, it needs to be stepped to dismiss because there's attorneys involved. Stipulated
Oh,
to dismiss,
stipulated.
stipulated.
Okay, I can hear now.
Somebody needs to be in communication with the defendant's attorney.
Okay.
They need to sign off on the dismissal.
Yep, we can hear you guys. Just wait for just a minute. We're just waiting for the, yep, you're good.
Okay.
They put.
First of all, Mr. Haddon, you know good and well. I was just getting ready of an afternoon hearing. My apologies.
Oh, yeah, no problem, Your Honor. We just, with the technical issues, I was just trying to get a hold of that before we jump back out of the breakout rooms.
Understood. Mr. Bowditch, have you spoken to Van Buren, the in custodies?
No, Your Honor, I was just informed of them, but the police are going to join us in a few moments. And then I believe we're going to breakout rooms.
I still have some probation cases. So as soon as Van Buren comes, you'll see the invitation. If you just go there with them, hopefully I'll get done with probation before you're done interviewing the 3 that are in custody.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is 154940 SD. This is State of Michigan versus Corey Catherine Leframbroisi. Your appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Ms. Corey LaFramboise. Ms. LaFramboise, please state your name for the court.
Corey LaFramboise.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. There was an offense date in this case of August the 9th, 2015 in the city of Belleville, where the defendant was charged with operating with a blood alcohol content of 0.17 or more. This matter was referred to the probation department back on April the 6th, 2016, where the defendant appeared and had a, if I'm understanding the ROA correctly, had a BAC of 0.119. She thereafter failed to obtain the alcohol monitoring, failed to appear for her pre-sentence investigation as directed by Chief Judge Brian Oakley. There was a bench warrant issued in this matter. She appeared before this court on February 15, 2023, and was sent to probation department for her screening and the development of a sentence recommendation that was completed. This court has now received and reviewed that recommendation from Stephen Hicks of the court's probation department, had an opportunity to review the police report in this matter, as well as the lab report from Michigan State Police Department, the criminal history and the driving record of the defendant. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding this morning, sir?
Thank you, Your Honor. We would, after reviewing the pre-sentence investigation report, we had no additions, deletions, or corrections to make. Discuss this with the defendant, and we would ask the court to adopt the recommended sentence as detailed. And just with way of brief allocution, Ms. Framboy, she did have some issues. One part of the absence of her being gone was moving to Kentucky to kind of take herself out of the situation that she had here. She has reported again that she's been abstinent, has been sober for quite some time. And we believe that she's going to be a great probationer and will have no issues in compliance. I think the only thing we have, maybe a couple of logistical questions that she has for the probation department regarding any alcohol monitoring device. And with that, we'll leave the matter to your discretion, Your Honor.
Thank you. The court has had the opportunity again to review the documents that were listed. The court has great concern that there was a blood alcohol content of 0.314 at the time of this incident, wherein the defendant, after having hit a pedestrian, indicated that it was her fault. The court has additional issues with someone absenting himself from the process from 2016 to 2023. Those concerns having been placed on the record, the court will adopt the recommendation developed by Stephen Hicks of the court's probation department, will impose a fine, in this case, of $700. There's cost of $300. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There is $150 for restitution to the city of Belleville. There's $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee, $85 screening fee, $45 clearance fee, $50 bench warrant fee, and $15 administrative fee. That's $1,490. Additionally, she will be placed on 90 days alcohol monitoring at her own expense. She will not be placed on probation. She will establish a payment plan for the fines and costs within 14 days of today's date. Ma'am, you've had the opportunity to confirm your phone number with the court previously, and the probation department will talk to you about how to set up the alcohol monitoring. Was there anything else in this matter, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Ms. LaFramboise, do you have any questions at this time?
No, just how soon should I go get on the alcohol monitor?
Ma'am, we have a phone number for you that ends in 2684.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct? The probation
ma'am.
department will be in touch with you about how to establish that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you much. Good luck to you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Mays.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm in my class this morning. but we're on a short break.
If you're on a short break, we will try to fit you in with Mr. Kimball right now. Let me make sure
Thank you very much. Now, before we start though, Mr. Kimball, do you need to meet with me privately before we start?
I do not.
Okay.
This is 2300630D. This is Van Buren Township versus Emery Kimball. May I have your appearance, please, sir?
Good morning, Your Honor. William Mays on behalf of Mr. Kimball. Mr. Kimball, state your name for the record.
Emery Kimball.
Thank you, Mr. Kimball. Today is the
Your
day and
Honor,
time
we're
set for
here-
sentencing in this matter.
Sorry, Judge.
No, Mr. Mays, go ahead.
Okay, we are here before the court this morning for sentencing, Your Honor. And I've had an opportunity to review the PSI. I've communicated what the recommendation is to Mr. Kimball. There are no corrections or deletions to be made to the PSI in this case. The probation department's concern was the high BAC in this instance. They've recommended 6 months of probation. I think that I'm balanced, probably that there's enough there to overcome the presumption of a non-probationary sentence. And since it is a brief period, and Mr. Kimball, as long as he successfully completes everything within the first 3 months, would be entitled to that halftime credit. I don't think that there's any objections to the imposition of a 6-month probationary sentence along with fines and costs. Mr. Kimball, you are allowed to address the court. Do you have any concerns yourself, sir?
I do have a concern. So given my situation right now, it appears that I have a restricted license and I'm only able to travel to certain locations. I wanted to see if it would be possible for me to travel to a university because for my job position, I work with 2 clients and I do music education with them. And I need to constantly practice and come up with new exercises to enhance their cognitive and mental skills. So I wanted to see if it was possible for me to be able to go to a school or university to practice and create exercises for my clients for my job.
Is there anything else that you would like to say to the court regarding your proposed sentence?
Oh, no.
Thank you, Mr. Mays. What the court was starting to say previously, that there was an offense date in this case of January 18, 2023, which time Mr. Kimball was charged with operating while intoxicated. He appeared before the court on February 16, 2023, and entered a plea of guilty to the reduced count of operating while visibly impaired. As is this court's policy, he was referred to the probation department for screening and the development of a sentence recommendation. The court has reviewed that recommendation along with the police report in this matter, Mr. Kimball's criminal history, Mr. Kimball's needs assessment, and his driving record. The court will adopt the recommendation of Stephen Hicks of the court's probation department and place Mr. Kimball on 6 months of probation with the accompanying oversight fees. Mr. Kimball has indicated by Mr. Mays previously that that probation may be reduced by half if you complete the other requirements of probation. The court will additionally assess a fine of $300. There's cost of $100. There's $75 crime victims fee. There's $125 in restitution to Van Buren Township. There's $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. You will serve 24 hours of community service at a nonprofit and provide documentation to the probation department. If you do not already have a nonprofit that you're associated or affiliated with to complete those 24 hours of community service, probation can give you a list of places where you may go to do that community service. That must be completed within the 6 months of your probationary period, sir. You will attend a level 2 alcohol education program or engage in other outpatient treatment beginning within 30 days of today's date. Follow all recommendations from that program and provide documentation to the probation department. You will not purchase, possess, or consume alcoholic beverages or controlled substances without the court's approval, and you will submit to random testing a minimum of once per month with ETG as directed by the probation department. You will make equal monthly payments on your fines and costs until those are paid in full. You asked about your restricted license, Mr. Kimball. Is it currently restricted to traveling to and from work?
Yes, that and traveling to the university that I guess you were a part of. But I the university that I usually go to practice exercises for my clients, I'm not affiliated with that university, but they allow me to use the rehearsal spaces to create those exercises for my clients. So I wanted to see if that caused any conflicts of any kind, me going to the university to create exercises for my clients.
If the restriction is specifically, Mr. Mays,
Yeah, as long as it's arguably work, he is allowed to do that. And Mr. Kimball, it is in the state of Michigan, right?
Yes.
Okay, then in that case, the judge doesn't need to grant you special permission to go there. As long as this is something that is work related, then you are in compliance with the restricted license and there's no need for the judge to intervene.
Okay.
Anything else,
Kimball,
Mr. Mays?
I'll call you later today and talk to you a little bit more about that. But no, Judge, that's all.
Anything else, Mr. Kimball?
No, that'll be all for me.
Thank you, Mr. Kimball. Good luck to you. If there's some way or something that the probation department can do to support you in being successful on probation, do not hesitate to be in communication with them, okay?
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very
Have a
much,
good
Your
day.
Honor. And
Thank
thanks
you,
for
Mr.
squeezing me
Mays.
in. Have a great day.
Of course.
Thank you.
Mary Ann, what happened to Mr. Hadley?
That I don't know.
Huh. I need him still for Mr. Thompson.
Okay, all right, I'll give him a call.
Thank you.
That's not like him. Something must have happened. 'Cause he always
I
says,
know, I just,
yeah.
Oh, Mary. Yes, please.
Hey, Shannon or Tony, I don't know which one has Alan Thompson, but can you forward that information on to Josh? He's gonna hop on for you.
Yep, I already forwarded it to him.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Yep.
Mr. Hadley, thank you for jumping back on. Mr. Batar withdrew from this case previously.
No problem.
Mr. Thompson is here if you want to pull him into a breakout room, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely, Your Honor. I may have disabled my host capabilities when I logged out earlier. Nope, there they are.
No, we'll get you
We're
reset.
good.
I do have to say, pretty impressive when only one person doesn't show up.
I take that as a win every day.
Yes.
Mr. Bowditch, were you done with all three?
Yes, Your Honor.
As soon as Van Buren pops out.
I believe the first young man who's in line would be a Mr. Cadell.
Thank you. This is 230160FY. This is State of Michigan versus Darius Devon Cadell. May I have your appearance, please?
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch, 45367, appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Cadell. Mr. Cadell, could you tell the judge your name for the record, please?
Darius Cadell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, today's the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. We would waive the formal reading of the charges, stand mute, ask the court to respectfully enter a not guilty plea on this behalf.
Thank you. Mr. Cadell, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Bowditch. You understand why we're here this morning?
Yes.
He has waived the reading of the formal reading of the charges against you, sir. Going forward, you have an absolute right to be represented by an attorney in this felony matter. If you're unable to obtain private counsel through your own resources or that of friends and family, the court is able to appoint an attorney to you. There was a petition for court-appointed attorney attached to the front of your file. The court has signed that. You will be assigned an attorney going forward. It will not be Mr. Bowditch. It will be someone else. They will use the information contained on your petition to be in communication with you. Mr. Bowditch has had you stand mute to the charges against you. The next step in these procedures, sir, is that you have a right to be considered for pretrial release. The recommendation from Van Buren Township Department of Public Safety indicates that they do not oppose personal bond, and in fact, ask for bond of 10,000, 10%. I'm sorry, 10,000 personal. Mr. Bowditch, any comment as to bond in this matter?
No, Your Honor, I would agree with the bond. Mr. MacArthur or Mr. Cadell has had a permanent residence on MacArthur Boulevard for 20 years. He's been gainfully employed at McDonald's for the last 3 years. No criminal history, no warrants. And I've went to extensive discussions about any restrictions that the court might place on a personal bond.
Thank you. Mr. Cadell, do you have reason to be in communication with William Workman?
No.
Does he live at the address that you will be returning to?
No.
The court will adopt the recommendation from Van Buren Township, sir, and set your bond at 10,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until such time as this matter is resolved or bond is amended. A condition of your bond is that you have no contact with the complainant in this case, that being Mr. William Workman, sir. No contact with this court means no contact, no direct contact, no contact through third parties, no contact through social media. Should the court receive a report that you have made contact with the complainant, the court could view that as a violation of the terms of your bond. Your bond could be revoked and you could spend the rest of these proceedings in custody. Understood?
Yes.
The next hearing date, sir, will be your probable cause conference, which will be on Wednesday, April the 5th, 2023 at 9:45 a.m. here in person in courtroom number 2 with Judge Oakley. Again, this case number is 230160FY. Next appearance date, April the 5th at 9:45 a.m. courtroom number 2 in person with Judge Oakley. Anything else in this case, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else regarding Mr. Cadell, Van Buren?
No, we're all set, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next up is Matthews or Beecham.
Okay, just 1 second.
While they're switching them out, Mr. Hadley, we will call 220133SM. This is State of Michigan versus Alan Thompson. May I have your appearance, please, sir?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Alan Thompson. Mr. Thompson, please state your name for the judge.
Alan Thompson,
Thank you.
THOMPSON.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I-
Mr. Thompson. Today is the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. There was a bench trial that was conducted back on June the 28th, 2022, at the conclusion of which this court found you guilty, referred the matter to the probation department for screening and development of a sentence recommendation. Mr. Hadley, you've had the opportunity to review that recommendation with Mr. Thompson.
Yes, we have, Your Honor. We would ask that this court adopt the recommendation, and Mr. Thompson would just like a very brief moment for allocution.
The allocution, sir.
Mr. Thompson, anything you'd like to say to the judge?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, thank you for your time and consideration in this matter. I would like to say, since this whole incident, I have been physically, mentally, and healthily drained. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm down to 150 pounds.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, sir. When you turn your head, I lose you. You become muffled.
I'm sorry. So,
That's okay.
right now, my biggest focus is to get this taken care of, get it out of the way. I am currently in the process of getting a nonprofit licensed 501c3 Michigan Animal Transport Services back up and running. Since this all happened, my business has been down. I had to get all new board members. It's been really hard on me. I just want this matter to be finished. And, you know, so I can continue doing my emergency service for the animals and the public, what I've been doing since I've started this company back in 2019, Your Honor.
Very good, Mr. Thompson. We appreciate you letting the court know. Judge, I was able to hear him. Could you guys hear it on your end okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Again, this court having had the opportunity to review the police report in this matter, this court did conduct the bench trial. Court will adopt the recommendation set forth by Stephen Hicks of this court's probation department and will place Mr. Thompson on 12 months of probation. Additionally, the court will assess a fine in this case of $500. There's cost of $300. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $20 building fund. There's a $50 bench warrant fee and $50 mandatory state cost. That's a total of $1,475. There is also restitution due to Van Buren Township of $125. Mr. Thompson will complete a domestic violence program beginning within 30 days of today's date, provide documentation showing completion of this program to the probation department as directed. Will engage in outpatient treatment beginning within 30 days of today's health to address the mental health and substance abuse referenced in the case file. Follow all recommendations from that treatment program and provide documentation to the probation department as directed. Mr. Thompson will not purchase, possess, or consume alcoholic beverages or non-prescribed controlled substances without the court's approval, and will submit to random testing a minimum of twice per month with ETG or as otherwise directed by probation department. Mr. Thompson is to make equal monthly payments on the fines and costs assessed in this matter during the course of his probation. Is there anything else this morning in this case, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson, good luck to you, sir.
Sure,
If there's
Your
something
Honor.
that the probation department can do to support you in being successful in probation, please do not hesitate to reach out to your probation agent, sir.
I do have one medical question, Your Honor. I have PTSD
Yes,
and
sir.
anxiety. Okay. And with my medication Prozac for my ailments, and my counselor that I've been seeing since all this started, I smoke marijuana on a daily basis to counteract, so I stay in a
Since I've been here, it's been going up and down. Seems.
the issue with that.
Mr. Thompson, if that medical marijuana is part of a prescribed course of treatment, probation department will make the court aware of it, and there are accommodations that can be made for that. Okay?
Okay.
Anything
Yes,
else,
ma'am.
Mr.
Thank you.
Thompson? Thank
God
you.
bless. Have a good evening.
You too. That concludes the probation docket for the morning. Thank you, Ms. Rapp, and thank you, Mr. Grant. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank
Van
you.
Buren, who is that we have?
I believe it's Mr. Matthews, Your Honor.
Van Buren's muted. Marianne, are you sending the prompt? I don't want to do it if you're already doing it.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear us now?
Thank you. Who is that you have with you, please?
Matthew Corey.
Thank you.
Mhm.
This is 230170FY. This is State of Michigan versus Corey Matthews. May I have your appearance, please?
Your Honor, for the
Yes.
record, Jeffrey Bowditch, 45367, appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Matthews. Mr. Matthews, could you tell the judge your name for the record, please?
Your Honor, my name is Corey Shante Matthews.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. Now, Your Honor, today's the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. We would waive the formal reading of charges and stand mute. Ask the court to respectfully enter a not guilty plea on his behalf.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Bowditch this morning. You understand the charges you face and the possible
Correct, yes.
penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. He has indicated that you will waive the formal reading of the charges against you. You stand mute to those charges, sir.
Okay.
You have a right to be represented by an attorney in this matter. If you're unable to afford to retain private counsel, the court is able to appoint one for you. There is a petition attached to the front of your file for a court-appointed attorney. The court has signed that. You will be assigned an attorney going forward. It will not be Mr. Bowditch. It will be a different attorney who will use the information provided on the petition to be in communication with you. Sir, you also have a right to be considered for pretrial release in this matter. Van Buren Township Department of Public Safety has prepared a bond recommendation that indicates that they have no reason to oppose personal bond in this matter. Mr. Bowditch, any comment as to bond?
Your Honor, I would agree with that. Mr. Matthews is a 30-year-old individual. He's been residing in Dearborn Heights for the last 3 years. He has a great work history. He started out with Brinks, then he went to Ford Motor, and now he's waiting for a position at Amazon. He has no criminal history. I think a personal bond is appropriate, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews, the court sets your bond at $5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until this case is resolved. Your next appearance date will be on Wednesday, April the 5th, 2023 at 10:15 a.m. in courtroom number 2 with Chief Judge Brian Oakley. Again, this case number is 230170FY. Next appearance date, Wednesday, April the 5th at 10:15 a.m. Courtroom number 2 at 34th District Court with Chief Judge Brian Oakley. Anything else in this case, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Anything else, Van Buren?
All set, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck to you, Mr. Matthews.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you.
One more.
Yes, ma'am.
This, Your Honor, would be a Austin LaFlette.
I'm gonna release one.
He has a hyphenated name, Your Honor, but I believe he goes by LaFletch.
This is 230169FY. This is State of Michigan versus Austin Lee Beecham LaFletch. May I have your appearances, please?
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of and with Mr. LaFletch. Austin, could you tell the judge your name for the record, please?
Austin Lee Beecham LaFleche.
Thank you, sir. Your Honor, today's the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. We would waive the formal reading of the charges, stand mute, ask the court to respectfully enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. LaFletch.
Thank you. Mr. LaFletch, you've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Bowditch. You understand why we're here this morning?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bowditch has indicated on the record that you're waiving your right to hear the formal reading of the complaint in this matter, standing mute to the charges. Sir, inasmuch as this is a felony matter, you have a right to be represented by an attorney going forward. If you're unable to retain an attorney through your own resources of that of friends and family, the court is able to assign an attorney for you, appoint an attorney for you, sir. There is a petition for court-appointed attorney attached to the front of your file. The court has signed that. You will be assigned an attorney going forward. It will not be Mr. Bowditch. It will be a different attorney who uses the information provided on that petition to be in contact and communication with you. You also have a right to be considered for pretrial release. Van Buren Township Department of Public Safety has completed a bond recommendation form where they indicate that they do not oppose personal bond. The only condition that they're asking the court is to impose is that you have no contact with the victim in this case, the alleged victim, that being Mike. Last name is Huynh. Mr. Bowditch, any comment as to bond in this matter?
No, Your Honor, I'm in agreement with a personal. This young man is 35 years old. He's had the same residence for 17 years in Presidential Estates, married with two children. He's been with Davenport Construction for 12 years. No probation, no parole, no warrants. He's a perfect candidate, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, do you have any reason to be in contact with Mike Huynh?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, your bond in this case will be set at $5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until such time as this matter is resolved in its entirety. The condition of your bond is that you have no contact with the complainant, the alleged victim in this case, that being Mike Huynh. Sir, no contact means no contact. Your next appearance date in this matter will be on Wednesday, April the 5th, 2023 at 9:45 a.m. That will be in courtroom number 2 with Judge Oakley. Again, this case number is 230169FY. Next appearance date, April the 5th, 2023 at 9:45 a.m. here in person in courtroom number 2 at the 34th District Court. Anything else in this case, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Anything else, Van Buren?
We're all set, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Bowditch, I have not heard anything else from Andy about any other potential arraignments. It's 11:03. If we have something, it will be deemed late and we'll have to see if there's someone available. Other than that, that concludes this court's docket for the morning and we stand adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Nothing else, Judge. No late arraignment.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.